Welcome back to the News Hour. The Tharoor IPL scandal raising questions about propriety. A look back in time now, and unfortunately it is quite evident that there has been a sharp drop in the standards of morality. A far cry from the statesmen of yesteryears. Today propriety is not a virtue that is practiced, far alone most of all by our politicians anymore.
Lal Bahadur Shastri, a selfless statesman who set the standards of public morality, taking responsibility for a railway accident in Tamil Nadu and stepping down as the railway minister, despite the then Prime Minister Nehru persuading him not to. The year 1962, India's humiliating defeat against China. The then Defence Minister Krishna Menon not shying away from the blame, accepting direct responsibility and resigning. T.T. Krishnamachari, instrumental in setting up the country's major steel plants and financial institutions, reforming India's tax system, a leader who however did not think twice over quitting as the finance minister over a stock market scam. These politicians, statesmen in their own right, setting the highest standards of propriety that our modern netas, many tainted in one scandal or the other, refuse to apply to themselves. Bureau Report, Times Now.
So we have had enough propriety in our system. So when Shashi Tharoor now says that he wants to raise the levels of public discourse and transparency, etc. in Indian political life, he should be thinking again, because we have had very transparent leaders in the past. In the debate this evening, Abhishek Singhvi of the Congress party is also joined in by Rajiv Pratap Rudy of the BJP, Jai Narayan Vyas, Gujarat government minister and spokesperson of that government. Remember, Narendra Modi's name was dragged into this. D. Raja of the Communist Party of India, Mahesh Rangarajan, one of India's best known political analysts, and Sohail Seth is joining us from London. My first question is to Abhishek Singhvi. Dr. Singhvi, it's not legality anymore. It's become a matter of propriety, hasn't it? This whole Tharoor and Modi, Lalit Modi affair. Why is the Congress shying away from a public debate?
Arnav, I'll be frank with you, I didn't realize this was a program specific to Shashi Tharoor issue. Okay. But our stand on that is clear, although it's going to be short for you and repetitive. It is that there is nothing to hide, nothing to avoid, nothing to run away from. The Prime Minister himself, no less, is seized of it in Washington. He has said that he will look into it, and if he finds facts on which he has to react or take action, he will do so. I think we have to give it some time. Let's wait a reasonable while. The party has meanwhile done the same thing. It has said that we don't need to react to it now. Let this thing be looked into, but if facts emerge which necessitate a reaction, we will do so. I don't see any other reason for kind of brushing it under the carpet. Parliament has started. There are a set of several large issues there which deserve greater attention, immediate attention, including Naxals, which we started off on today, including Women's Reservation Bill, including the Nuclear Liability Bill, and so on and so forth. But that is not to say that anything is being avoided. Just wait, be a little patient.
I simply have been asking a more basic question tonight, and we started the news hour tonight by mentioning that how come all the skeletons are coming out of the cupboard now? You know, for example, we are taxpayers. IPL gets entertainment tax exemption. So we need to know.
Sorry?
We need to know everything about what's going on in the IPL. It's not just about Shashi Tharoor. Let me get Rajiv Rudy into this. You talk about propriety. What about the same propriety when Narendra Modi and Vasundhara Raje's name gets dragged into this?
Well, I've been hearing this debate for the last couple of days, and basically I'm of the opinion that Mr. Tharoor doesn't deserve so much of a space as it has been given. But nonetheless, it has been given, and on the face of it, I don't believe Mr. Tharoor is the face of the Congress party so that we can hit on him and achieve a point or score a point on the Congress party. But what concerns me today is that whatever is happening in the IPL, well, I'm a man of limited understanding as far as cricket goes, because I am just watch cricket and enjoy cricket. But the amount of money today involved in cricket is unthinkable. And now people like us are constrained to think, what is this all about? And now I'm sure after Mr. Tharoor's debate, the whole country would like to find out how come teams are being bought and sold for 1,500 crores, which no business in this country could have achieved. Whether there is some bad money involved, whether there is some money which is related to narcotics, arms, doubts money, what is happening? Now I'm just joining you, I'm telling what you wanted to hear. My concern today is, this is a challenge for the government to find out, irrespective of whose name is being dragged, where this name is coming from, irrespective of that. Now it's time to know the full details what is happening in the IPL business. Now if that is so, and there is a big trade involved, and let it be open.
Mr. Rudy,
let's not take away the political space of the debate. Let's not take away the political space of the debate for many important issues.
What will Mr. Rudy? People will ask. Mr. Rudy, people will ask. What were the politicians, why are the politicians crying foul now? I sense in what you are just saying, a backtracking of your position on Shashi Tharoor. You're publicly backtracking your position on Shashi Tharoor because allegations are also being made at BJP leaders. And hence, it appears to me the BJP...
Well, I'm just telling you what is principally the whole thing about. BJP is not backing, it is... Mr. Tharoor has been messing up the government stand for lots of occasions when he talks about cattle class, when he talks about Gandhi Jayanti as a day being celebrated by people who don't work.
Let's keep the focus,
He's done another mess. So it's inconsequential what Mr. Tharoor does. The larger question which we are asking today, let us and the country now would certainly like to know what is all this big money about. And if there are people involved, government must act, and the Prime Minister must act spontaneously. He should not wait for all these things and speculations to go on. And this is what we want to happen. Now if we say Mr. Tharoor is inconsequential, and I would not like even my party to give him so much of space so as to...
No, you are softening your line, Mr. Rudy. Mr. Rudy, you are softening your line.
I know exactly what I am saying.
You are softening your line, Mr. Rudy.
I am saying exactly what I am saying, and I'm not mixing my words. So what you have heard is correct.
No, because skeletons are coming out on all sides.
I'm not here to compete with the statement made by my colleague earlier. I'm saying what is practically needs to be understood in this entire
I'm being so Mr. Rudy, allow me. I'm being blunt. I'm going to go to D. Raja and then Mahesh Rangarajan. Sohail, I'm going to come to right after that.
Be blunt, please.
No, the question is tonight. The blunt question is tonight that there is a falling out that's happened among people. So one side is saying, I'm going to go down, I'm going to reveal all the skeletons in your cupboard as well. So that it's clear to the people of India there's a lot of and BJP leaders' names have also been dragged in that.
Mr. Arnab, let me complete. The BJP would like to make it very clear. Let there be a complete transparency in this whole affair. Where is the problem? And the country deserves to know whatever has been happening in this IPL business. Now, you cannot adjudicate at this point of saying that someone has threatened someone. We would more than that like this entire episode to be exposed. So what is the problem? But there are many things which the government needs to find out, and the government must put its machinery to find out whatever is happening. And it's just not asking us questions on one statement.
There is, I refuse to believe here. I'm going to Sohail and then I'm going to Mahesh after. One refuses to believe here that all the evidence came now that the franchises are owned by multiple entities spread across the world, including tax havens, probably operating as front organizations. Sunanda Pushkar and Shashi Tharoor is only the most recent example. Were people putting on blinkers till then, Sohail? About what's going on in the IPL?
Can I just say a few things really bluntly in response to your really blunt question? Let's get real. This country is now a country of nexuses. This is not the Republic of India, this is the Republic of nexuses. There's a nexus between politics and cricket, a nexus between politics and some sections of the media, a nexus between politics and Bollywood. What we are seeing today is the degradation and the deprivation of everything that India should and must hold dear. We built an IPL brand and we have today dragged it into the mud. It is the subject of sleaze, sex, politics, money and gossip. That's what we've dragged a mere game which all of us love called cricket to. As for Shashi Tharoor, Rajiv Pratap Rudy, my good friend, may think Shashi Tharoor is inconsequential. He's not. I'm a citizen of India. He's a minister in my Prime Minister's government, and the President has sworn him to the oath of allegiance to this constitution. He is not inconsequential. His behavior must be above board. I don't care whether he's seeing Sunanda Pushkar or who Sunanda Pushkar is, whether he made that call to Lalit Modi, it's irrelevant. Perceptually, Arnab, Lalit Modi and Shashi Tharoor sadly today are in the dock of perceptual misrepresentation and misdemeanor. That needs to be corrected. So what are the solutions? We can keep having this argument between these political parties, and let me tell you, all these political parties have skeletons. All their representatives want to dabble in cricket because there's glamour and money. All of these guys want to dabble in infrastructure projects. That's how crooked the nature of Indian politics is today. So the solution is as follows. Shashi Tharoor must resign like Lal Bahadur Shastri did. Don't wait for the headmaster to return from Washington and then go and place yourself in the headmaster's room and say, okay, here's my hand. Do you want to cane me or do you want to leave me go? So Shashi Tharoor must resign, and it is not that he will be playing into the hands of the BJP.
I want to ask Mahesh
He will be doing it out of the same respectability that Tharoor is known for.
No, I want to ask
Lalit
Mahesh.
Modi must allow a regulatory body to be set up
No,
to control
one second.
IPL.
Let's not get the government into managing IPL. That's not the response. But I want to ask you,
I'm
Mahesh.
saying a regulator.
No. I want to ask Mahesh here. Mahesh, what do you think is going on right now? Because, perception is so important. And it's not Mr. Shashi Tharoor's credibility alone, isn't it? It's the credibility of the government.
Yeah, it's less than a year ago that Shashi Tharoor gave up a very important UN assignment. He's a respected scholar, writer, someone with a shining academic career. He wins the seat in the Lok Sabha from a very difficult seat, Thiruvananthapuram. He comes in the first term as Minister of State for External Affairs. He's someone with a fairly extensive knowledge of international affairs. And one is he seems to get into controversy time and over. But this time it is somewhat more serious because it is a question of propriety. And you were naming figures in the beginning like Lal Bahadur Shastri, and frankly it is difficult to see figures today, with the greatest respect, of that sort of stature anywhere in public life. But in the case of Mr. Tharoor, I think, or Dr. Tharoor, we must acknowledge this was a person who got the blessings of the most senior leadership of the party and the government, and today they are looking at a question of whether they have to do damage control. The Prime Minister is someone who chooses his words very carefully. He said he will ascertain the facts once he comes back. To me, that itself indicates that there is something which Mr. Tharoor has to rethink about the way he's conducted his public life. A political life is very different from life of other sorts. A political person, particularly one holding high public office, is always in public glare. So I think it has become a question of damage control for the government. It's leading, as you rightly say, to the question of financing of IPL, to the whole issue of whether there is money which is of an unsavory sort involved in this very vast game of cricket. But for now, the spotlight will stay on Tharoor until the government at the highest level and the party makes up its mind. And I think it's looking at a very difficult choice right now.
You see, so far there has been an iron curtain, Mr. Raja. There has been an iron curtain when it comes to information on the Indian Premier League, because all we are told, it's a market enterprise, a free market enterprise. It's a there should be there needn't be any information given out. We don't need to pay tax. It's a different kind of system. You are targeting a bigger issue, aren't you, Mr. Raja? You are talking about the problem in the IPL itself. What, in your view, should be the next step? Not about the IPL, let's say about Shashi Tharoor.
No, definitely there are certain larger issues, there are certain immediate issues. The larger issue is the way IPL has been allowed to function in this country. IPL has become, as Mr. Rudy was saying, a business, a speculative business.
But
cricket, one of the most lovable games in the country, has become a business, and there huge money is involved, and as somebody is saying, some nexus don't put as politicians in general. A section of the politicians or a few politicians are increasingly getting involved in IPL business, speculative business. And as yourself asking that why taxpayer should pay and why they should get exemption from entertainment tax, these are larger issues and which needs to be probed. And To
No,
whom IPL is accountable?
No,
Prime Minister is accountable to the government, Prime Minister is accountable to the Parliament and people. But IPL, where is the
No,
accountability of IPL?
No,
That is one larger...
You know what's going
No,
on?
listen to me.
Yeah.
That is one larger issue which needs to be properly examined. The immediate issue, Mr. Shashi Tharoor. And Mr. Shashi Tharoor is a minister in the government. And when allegations are levelled against him, whether they are true or not, facts will have to be found, as Prime Minister said. But in order to find out the facts,
Sure.
there should be some proper inquiry. Till the inquiry is over, facts are established, Shashi Tharoor cannot remain in office as minister, and his position has become so untenable. He has to step down.
Dr. Singhvi.
That is the only way. And whether he will do it, whether Congress party will ask him to do it, it is
Dr.
definitely
Singhvi,
an
tell me
issue,
the real
because
facts.
Congress party is...
Dr. Singhvi, tell me the facts.
Hello?
Dr. Singhvi, tell us what is going on. Have you told Shashi Tharoor you decide what you have to do? Because you've not been defending him. You started the show by saying, I'm going to be repetitive if you ask me about Shashi Tharoor. Why are you keeping a stony silence on a person whose activities
there's no question of any
have only
stony
brought your
silence.
party
I
to
think-
disrepute?
Arnab, I have said what I wanted to say about that issue. I think we are not being patient even for a couple of days. Once the Prime Minister has spoken and the party has given a very categorical statement, I don't think we need to go further. But I think I need to address the larger issue you are raising, which I agree is an important issue. Today, there is more of money and less of cricket in cricket. Today, it is more a rapid-fire gimmick, where the object to entertain is there, but it's there as a subsidiary ancillary object. The object to play the game well is there, but it's there as an ancillary subsidiary object. The real object is somehow to make it into a very, very effective business proposition. I think this is a larger issue which the country must debate, and I think the bad times will come for cricket in the future.
Dr. Singhvi, I appreciate your efforts to look at the larger issue because it provides you a nice detour from the question I asked you about Shashi Tharoor.
Yeah.
But I have a bigger question
I answered
tonight.
it.
And I'm going to be really blunt about this to Jainara Vyas because he hasn't spoken so far. If cricket has been dragged to the dark, abominable depths of sleaze, are we as Indian citizens expected to believe, Mr. Jainara Vyas, that no Indian politician knew about it? That it was only Mr. Lalit Modi perhaps and Mr. Shashi Tharoor who were the two only joint venture participants in this sleaze. The sleaze could not have happened, Mr. Vyas, without political involvement. Political involvement from all parties.
Well, I think, Arnab, right now the issue at debate is what is the role and what is expected out of a minister of a union cabinet. The cardinal principle is that a minister of a cabinet is jointly and severely responsible for whatever are his commissions and omissions.
No.
So it is not as simple as it is being made out to be by Dr. Singhvi, that let the Prime Minister come, it will be investigated, and then if found something, then there is always
No, but
a
why
way
are you not
action.
talking about the other issue?
Caesar's wife
Well, you're not
should be about out.
You want to talk about Shashi Tharoor because it's convenient to you. Your chief minister is very keen. We are told to have an IPL
Not
franchise
really.
for
It's a
Ahmedabad.
matter of principle.
No. Narendra Modi's
It's a
interest in
matter
an
of
IPL
principle.
franchise for
Arnab, it's not
Ahmedabad.
Shashi Tharoor X, Y or Z. It's a question that a member of the union cabinet is involved. Sometimes he says, I am a mentor of the team. Sometimes he says, I have no stake. Sometimes he says, I have a friend. Sometimes he says something else.
No, but this is...
Now these are all his
purely convenient arguments.
acceptances.
No, purely convenient arguments. Rajiv Rudi, where was the BJP when it was being told that the Rajasthan chief minister was the biggest patron of Lalit Modi in Jaipur? Where was the BJP then? Where did the BJP talk about accountability, distancing? Let's not get into this.
I think you are mixing up two issues.
No, I'm not. It's the same
the
issue.
question of somebody.
No,
not at all. There was no similar issue. You know,
It's
we are
issue of a
trying to mix
nexus.
up the issues together.
No, Mr. Rudi.
It's the nexus.
Either somebody
Yes,
is close to somebody or somebody is somebody's friend. That doesn't make any sense.
Let me
Here
tell
is the
you,
issue
Arnab,
involved where
okay,
there
so
is a
Arnab,
sweat equity. There is somebody who is saying
No,
that
we are-
I am a
Mr.
mentor.
Mr. Vyas,
I
we
do
are
not
all-
want to declare what is the composition
Mr.
of the
Vyas,
shareholding, so on
Mr.
and
Vyas,
so forth.
we are all-
And that person happens to be a union
Mr.
cabinet
Vyas,
minister.
Arnab,
Yeah.
Arnab, we are not fools here. We are not fools here. There is big money. We all know where the money comes from. We all know whose interests it has. We all know that most of these IPL franchisees may or may not have been fronts. We don't know. The reality of the matter is transparency was not an issue until Lalit Modi sent that tweet. We didn't know that Shashi Tharoor was a deep abiding friend of Lalit Modi's, and my only advice to Shashi Tharoor is never go to bed with an elephant. You never know when it will roll over. So you might think it will be a great experience, but you might die. The reality is the nexus between politics, industry, cricket, media, glamour has driven us to a situation where we as a country are ashamed of the one great brand that we built, which is the Indian Premier League. We are ashamed of our politicians, no matter how competent and how brilliant they may be, and Shashi Tharoor is an outstanding human being and a parliamentarian. But look at what we've done to these people. We have dragged them into the mud only because we believe that Operation Successful, patient dead.
Mr. Rudy is avoiding my question. Mr. Rudy, you are avoiding or you are not answering my question. Because you are maintaining a stony silence like Abhishek Singhvi tonight.
No, it is, we are not silent. We are happy with this, with independent commentators making a remark, and I think they have very valid points. But the question arises here is that Indian political space cannot be usurped by such inconsequential discussions, which if
this
there
is
are
not
facts
an inconsequential discussion, Mr. Rudy.
Which we are discussing. If there are facts,
then BJP should not raise it in Parliament.
The whole IPL has become a suspect. That is a political question which I would like to discuss. If IPL has become suspect for reasons, whether it is money which is being laundered, money which is related to narcotics, money which is related to arms trafficking, money related to Dawood, then I have a major concern, and the country needs to know it. We have a minister who's got a foot in his mouth.
Narendra Modi is the president of the Gujarat Cricket Association.
What is the weakness of the Congress party? Whether he symbolizes the Congress party, what is the weakness of the Congress party for the Twitter minister? I do not know. My concern here is all this big money in the IPL means is dangerous for the nation. The country needs to know what is all about,
Rudy,
and that is, as a politician, I would submit. That is what I, as a politician,
Mr. Rudy, which political party in this country? Which one political party in this country does not have a stake in cricket? And the IPL is only a subcommittee of the BCCI. And the BCCI has representation from all political parties.
Unfortunate. If political parties have got into the business of cricket for the purpose which you are mentioning, then it is very unfortunate.
They have been.
I do not know. I'm not here to comment.
Mr. Rudy, it would require...
You're talking about political parties.
Mr. Rudy, are you telling me that you don't know the fight for the Rajasthan Cricket Association is a fight between the Congress and the BJP?
You are trying to rate individuals with political parties.
It is political.
Whether Mr. Shashi Tharoor as an individual or many others have indulged in this.
No, but talk about every politician.
The political parties are running IPL. That is a wrong statement. But the country needs to know what is this IPL business all about.
Well,
that is what I agree. 100%.
I don't think. I'm sorry,
100%.
I disagree with Mr. Raja.
No. In that government, there is a truant minister in that government. There is a truant minister in the government who has been messing up the whole affair. The Prime Minister must tell the nation what is the reason of keeping such a minister. So let's be very clear about it.
The question is actually the worry is, the worry is, Mahesh, at this point, that this cannot end with Mr. Shashi Tharoor. But don't you get a sense, Mahesh?
Absolutely.
Don't you get a sense, Mahesh, that this is an attempt by all interested parties on all sides? Because they all want Shashi Tharoor and Lalit Modi to be pushed out of their jobs so that their own closets are never opened. There are too many interests in this. Shashi Tharoor and Lalit Modi.
I think... Arnab, as far as the career of Mr. Tharoor is concerned, I think his fate at this moment is probably in the hands of the Congress President and the Prime Minister, who will take a very hard look at what they should do for damage control. On the IPL, I am struck by something else. There's a unanimity among the political leaders on your show today. They're all extremely experienced, highly well-read people, that there is something amiss with IPL. Now I wonder what they would prescribe as the remedy. Should there be a CBI inquiry? Should the income tax authorities actually audit, conduct a tax audit on IPL and its investors over the last 3 years? Should there be a joint parliamentary committee? Because there is concern about who some of these businesses are. There are legitimate businesses which are known, they have stockholders, or even if they're private companies, they are audited, they take bank loans, but there are other which seem to have sprung up overnight, which are flush with cash. And I think it's a legitimate point in this country, particularly given the larger security environment we live in, about whose money this is and where it's coming from. And you're right, it's a political challenge, and we have to see how the political leadership tackles it. It's not just a problem, therefore, for the PM and the Congress President.
Fundamental point, yeah.
No, but Arnab, there is a basic failure then in the system. Because all these franchisees, to my mind, are also registered companies. So we have the data with the registrar of companies. A. B. Please understand, for the last 2 years, everyone, when they talk about IPL, they talk about a word called valuation. We are all in it for the valuation game, and everyone is looking at this whole, glorious situation about valuation. The reality is, the game is irrelevant. So here's my solution. Mahesh rightly talked about a solution. CBI inquiry will be nothing but a governmental witch hunt. Joint Parliamentary Committee, these guys have more serious work to do. My recommendation is, get all the accounts audited and make sure that the audit itself is honorable.
Mr. Raja, why don't you
We
ask
cannot
for
stop
a joint...
IPL, it's a great idea.
Because there is talk about a joint parliamentary committee into this whole IPL fiasco, but that I don't think people of this country are going to really believe that a JPC represented by politicians will do a good job of investigating IPL.
Arnab, first of all, let me make a point clear. You are talking about all political parties. Why did you invite me? I don't know. My party is not involved. If you want to name some parties, name BJP, Congress, NCP or some parties, some leaders belonging to these parties are involved. Don't put all politicians, all political parties. It is
everyone but Raja.
A political debate you are conducting. No, that point you make
Your
it
point
clear.
is taken,
Secondly,
but Mr. Raja, just one point. The left parties don't have a stake in IPL. But it's not as if left leaders don't have interest in cricket in West Bengal. So that point also stays there.
No, not IPL. Why you go to West Bengal? No, listen to me. Why you go to West Bengal? And sitting in Delhi, I am saying, people watch cricket. Cricket, I said it, cricket is one of the most lovable games in this country. But why cricket has become such a mess today? And IPL
because of the politicians.
More than a game. No, IPL is more than a game. It is a speculative business and it is a plunder of money. And I do not know who are all involved. That is why I said there is a need for a thorough investigation, thorough probe. What should be the instrument for the probe? That can be discussed inside Parliament or outside Parliament. But they must be made accountable. Prime Minister is accountable to the Parliament and people. IPL, to whom they are accountable? The IPL players. That is the number one issue. Number two, when it comes to Mr. Shashi Tharoor, I think the Congress party should take a position because it is Congress party which proposed him to become the Secretary General of United Nations.
Sure.
Let us not forget that.
Sure.
And now Congress party cannot distance from Shashi Tharoor. And Congress party should make a position on what it is going to do with Mr. Shashi Tharoor.
I think
as far as I am concerned, my party is concerned, Shashi Tharoor's position has become untenable to continue as minister. He has to step down. If he refuses to step down, then Congress party should take it.
Well, he has already flatly refused to step down. But then we look back at Natwar Singh and there have been a history of a lot of other ministers who had to go kicking and screaming. Let's see where the story goes. I think there is unanimity among the panel. I think Mahesh has also made an important point about the credibility of Mr. Shashi Tharoor. The onus till Saturday night when the PM returns is in Shashi Tharoor's court, but then Lalit Modi also will have a lot to answer for. The story is not over. We'll be back. Thank you so much for joining me on the News Hour this evening. I'll see you tomorrow, same time. Good night. Good night.